Today's devotions again come from the book of Job. This time it's chapter 2 and verses 3 through 10. I'm reading selected portions of those verses. The Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil? He holds fast his integrity." Then Satan said, "But stretch out your hand and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse you to your face." And the Lord said, "Behold, he is in your hand, only spare his life." So Satan went and struck Job with sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. Then his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said, "Shall we receive good from God, and shall we not receive evil?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. And once again, we see Satan express his challenge and his desire. His challenge to God is the same as before, to see if he can entice God's creation to rebel against God. And again, we see Satan's desire for this to come to pass by trying to have God's chosen champion, Job, turn against God by cursing God. Again, that which Satan desires is to turn God's creation against him. But this time, Satan has an ally, Job's own wife. She tries to get Job to do exactly what Satan so desperately longs for. So there are a couple of things to consider at this moment. There are certainly overtones of Adam and Eve here. With Eve giving the fruit to Adam, there's an echo of that in Job's wife telling Job to go against what Job knows to be right. In fact, his wife even understands this by the way she speaks. She recognizes that if Job will curse God, then the result will be Job's death, just as God had told Adam. And there's another factor that brings this desire of Satan into our day and time. And that is how our own dear ones, our family and friends, can sometimes seek to draw us away from God. Oh, to be certain, I'm not referring to those who love the Lord and who try to do their best to support us in our Christian life. But there are always those whom we love or care about who just don't seem to understand our need of God's love and the faith that we have through the gift of the grace from Jesus Christ. Or to make things even more difficult, there are those we love who are openly hostile to the gospel. Jesus told us this would be so. In Matthew 10, verses 34 through 39, he speaks of this and says in verse 36, "And a person's enemies will be those of his own household." By Jesus' own words, we can be assured that those we love that are hostile to the gospel do not catch us off guard. After all, again, Jesus told us this would be so. Now, that doesn't make it less painful for us, as I'm sure it was for Job. But nonetheless, we remain with Job in our integrity by not cursing God. By the blood of Jesus, we are protected and kept safe in his love and care. Again, we too, like Job, seek to remain faithful to God so that we can rejoice and be glad in all the goodness of God that is ours through Jesus' sacrifice alone. Again, it's his promise of life that we possess in Jesus Christ. And in him and in his word, we stand firm. God's peace to you. Goodbye.